Well, well, well. The fourth period summer trade watch list has been updated. As of July 22nd, 2025, 2 days ago we had ourselves some new names tossing themselves into the mix, and some new teams. Which is why, as a Detroit Red Wings fan who is taking a look at this list and seeing some of the extra names that have been linked to the Motown Wings, I wanted to go out there and talk about some extended Red Wings trade talk. Not regarding this guy, Rickard Rakell. I mean, we've seen him in a few Red Wings-related conversations already, but he is actually not listed as one of the teams, or as one of the guys that the Red Wings are going after on this piece. Nor is Brian Rust, which is kind of interesting. I feel like the market should be a lot more wide open for both of these dudes, but still, let's scroll down there and talk about some of the guys that the Detroit Red Wings are linked to. New Red Wings targets being revealed here, starting out with the third overall name on the fourth period David Pagnotta's summer trade watch list. It is Rasmus Andersson of the Calgary Flames. Now, here's the thing. We just made a video on this YouTube channel talking about Saravalli and his commentary on the Detroit Red Wings, how they need defense. That was the most recent video here on the channel. And Saravalli, in these comments that he made, essentially said that the Red Wings D-core is really bad, it needs a lot of work, and he doesn't know why Stevie Y hasn't been able to get it done. Well, this first name on the summer trade watch list does go out there and address that very need. Rasmus Andersson, Calgary Flames. It does not sound like Andersson and the Flames will be coming to terms on a contract extension. He has 1 year remaining on his current deal, and trade talks have picked up. There is solid interest in Andersson, and Flames GM Craig Conroy is trying to maximize a return, be it this offseason or leading up to the trade deadline. Teams reportedly linked are Ottawa, Carolina, Dallas, Columbus, Boston, Detroit, LA, Vegas. Oy, oy, oy. That is, 8 teams there? So, if we go off of just David Pagnotta's assessment here, the 28-year-old $4.55 million AAV D-man has almost a third of the league going out there and targeting him for his services. Yeah, you want to talk about the Calgary Flames and Craig Conroy maximizing a return? All you gotta do is show these other teams this article. All these teams are linked to this guy. There should be some sort of a bidding war coming soon. But if we head over to Rasmus Andersson and his Elite Prospects page, we will start to see just where a lot of that value is coming from. 28 years old, 6'1", 203, right-handed dude, and he is in a spot where his contract is coming to an end 1 year from now, $4.55 million a year, and he ended up posting 31 points in 81 games this previous year. He was a minus 38, had 1 game played at the Four Nations face-off, but I think common consensus was that Andersson wasn't really playing at the healthiest of his capacity this previous year. He was more productive in prior seasons. He had back-to-back 49-plus point years in 21-22 and 22-23. But of course, that's back when the Calgary Flames were a little bit better than they are right now. So, Rasmus Andersson, with his mobility, his offensive productivity, his solid defensive play, he's a very good two-way D-man, and I think there's a lot to like out of Andersson long-term. This guy, I mean, you play him however many minutes a night, you kind of shelter his minutes a little bit, he becomes a little better. That was, of course, for Team Sweden at the Worlds, but in Calgary, the guy was getting 22, 23, 24 minutes a night. He's a very useful and impactful name on the Calgary Flames blue line. Maybe give this guy sheltered minutes, and he will absolutely shine. If it's the Detroit Red Wings, we spoke about a Jacob Bernard-Docker replacement, potentially, Justin Hall replacement. Get Rasmus Andersson, and get Axel Sandin-Pellikka. Get a whole D-core of European dudes with 1 German, 1 Ben Sherratt, and then the rest of them are all Swedish, and Albert Johansson, Simon Edvinsson, Rasmus Andersson, ASP. There's a lot to like out of that, but of course, it's not really too projectable to have only Swedes on 1 D-core. It would be fun if it happened, though. Just saying. Let's take our sights over to another name, though. that was written and published about here on the fourth period summer trade watch list. A new name linked to the Red Wings, scrolling all the way down past Misa McTavish and on to player number 15, Evan Rodrigues of the Florida Panthers. The article says here, Rodrigues might be a casualty of Florida's salary cap situation. He has 2 years remaining on his contract and is an attractive asset for another cup contender if the Panthers opt to move him. 31 years old, $3 million a year, and teams reportedly linked are the Maple Leafs, the Blackhawks, the Red Wings, and the Minnesota Wild. Now, for my money, I'm just going to go out there and say I think any team in the NHL looking for a second-line center probably does have it in their best interests to be interested in Evan Rodrigues over here. 31 years old, 5'11", 183 right-handed dude, signed on till the end of 26-27, making $3 million a year. $3 million is not the end of the world, but he did score 32 points in 82 games in the most recent season. In fact, he has been a 39-plus point player the past 3 seasons, if you exclude 24-25. He has been productive as well in the postseason, half a point a game plus for all of the postseason runs he has been on the past 5 years. There is a lot to like out of the versatility, the bite, the dog-like attitude that Evan Rodrigues plays with. Yeah, sure, he's a Panther, but he plays with the heart of a dog. And this is a player that if he was added onto the Red Wings' second line, for example, he probably could be okay. I mean, you've seen in the postseason, he had some 20-plus minute games as a center, and he was still producing points. He was still getting up there on the board. I mean, look at all the production he had in the second half of the playoffs. After the Panthers got rid of the Maple Leafs, just look at how many points this guy was able to score. He had a really good stretch in this little range here between Toronto, Carolina, and Edmonton. But ultimately, this is a name who, because of the salary cap struggles that the Panthers have had, because they re-signed everybody they needed to re-sign, Evan Rodrigues' name could be the odd man out, not just because he's like a great player and they don't want to get rid of him, but because they have to get rid of him. They have no choice. So, could the Detroit Red Wings expand and capitalize on that? Well, they're one of multiple teams listed out here that would be interested in doing that. I do think that Evan Rodrigues would fit a Toronto Maple Leafs Craig Berube style system as well. Chicago, I don't really know if that's all too feasible. That team is in the gutter, so anybody who's going from a Stanley Cup championship team to Chicago, the reverse Seth Jones, mind you, that would be so interesting, I think. And then Minnesota, they're another team like Detroit just trying to get over the hump. Similar situations, honestly, but the Wild have made the playoffs a bunch, so I don't think Red Wings fans should be talking here. But either way, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the 2 newest Red Wings trade targets being revealed. Rasmus Andersson of the Calgary Flames here, as well as Evan Rodrigues of the Florida Panthers. What are your thoughts on each of these guys, and do you think the Red Wings could, would, or should, or maybe even will make some sort of a trade pitch or a successful transaction to get one of these dudes? What are your thoughts on the price? What could these guys cost here? What do you think the Red Wings should be interested in shedding away? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.